Welcome to Shogun's Library, where we delve into the secrets of power, strategy, and influence. In today's video, we'll explore the 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene, a timeless guide to understanding human behavior and mastering the dynamics of authority. Law 1. Never outshine the master. Explanation. This law advises against appearing conspicuously superior to those in positions of power above you. By avoiding outshining your superiors, you minimize the risk of triggering jealousy and resentment that could lead to their opposition or retaliation. This doesn't mean you should hide your talents. Rather, strategically showcase them in a way that complements and supports those in authority, allowing them to shine while subtly demonstrating your value and capabilities. Practical example. Imagine you're working under a senior manager who values recognition. Instead of overshadowing them with your achievements in a public setting, offer support and credit them for guiding your success. This approach strengthens your relationship and avoids triggering feelings of insecurity or competition. Law 2. Never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. Explanation. Greene emphasizes caution in trusting friends completely and suggests being aware of potential enemies. Sometimes, enemies can be more useful in achieving your goals than unreliable friends. By understanding the motivations and weaknesses of your adversaries, you can turn their opposition into an advantage and forge alliances strategically. However, it's crucial to maintain discretion and not reveal sensitive information to anyone who may use it against you. Practical example. Suppose you're navigating a competitive workplace where alliances constantly shift. Instead of blindly trusting close colleagues with sensitive information, maintain strategic relationships with a diverse network. This approach helps you adapt to changing dynamics and leverage unexpected connections. Law 3. Conceal your intentions. Explanation. Keep your true intentions and goals hidden from others, especially from those who may oppose or undermine you. This allows you to maintain an element of surprise and protects you from potential sabotage or interference. Revealing too much about your plans can make you vulnerable to manipulation or counter-strategies from others. Practice strategic ambiguity and reveal information selectively to maintain control over the narrative and outcomes. Practical example. Imagine you're negotiating a business deal. Instead of revealing your bottom line up front, focus on gathering information and assessing the other party's priorities. This strategic approach allows you to tailor your proposals effectively while avoiding being manipulated based on prematurely disclosed intentions. Law 4. Always say less than necessary. Explanation. Speaking less than needed makes your words more impactful and prevents you from revealing too much information. This approach creates an air of mystery and intrigue around you, enhancing your aura of power and making others curious about your thoughts and intentions. It also reduces the risk of inadvertently giving away valuable information that could be used against you. Choose your words carefully and prioritize brevity to maintain control over conversations and negotiations. Practical example. In a meeting or negotiation, instead of elaborating on every detail, focus on communicating concise and impactful points. Use pauses strategically to invite curiosity and encourage others to seek clarification, maintaining control over the conversation while avoiding unnecessary disclosures. Law 5. So much depends on reputation. Guard it with your life. Explanation. Your reputation is a critical asset in the game of power. It influences how others perceive and interact with you, shaping your opportunities and relationships. Protect your reputation at all costs by consistently acting with integrity, fulfilling commitments, and cultivating a positive image. Your reputation precedes you and can open doors or close opportunities based on how others perceive your character and abilities. Uphold high standards of conduct to build and safeguard your reputation over time. Practical example. Consider a scenario where you're aiming for a leadership role. Uphold consistent ethical standards, deliver on promises, and cultivate a reputation for integrity and reliability. This approach builds trust and opens doors to opportunities based on a positive perception of your character. Law 6. Court attention at all costs. Explanation. Drawing attention to yourself is essential for gaining power and influence. Develop charisma, cultivate a compelling personal brand, and use strategic tactics to capture and hold people's interest. Attention is a valuable currency in social dynamics, and those who can command it effectively often have more influence and leverage in various situations. Use a mix of confidence, creativity, and authenticity to court attention and establish a strong presence in your sphere of influence. Practical example. If you're launching a new project or initiative, leverage social media or networking events to highlight key milestones and successes. Craft engaging presentations and narratives that capture attention and generate buzz, positioning yourself as a driving force behind impactful endeavors. Law 7. Get others to do the work for you, but always take the credit. Explanation. Delegate tasks effectively and take credit for the work done by others under your direction. This tactic allows you to appear productive and indispensable while minimizing your workload. It's essential to recognize and appreciate the contributions of others, but strategically positioning yourself as the orchestrator of success can enhance your reputation and authority. Master the art of delegation and collaboration to maximize productivity and achieve ambitious goals. Practical example. As a team leader, delegate tasks according to team members' strengths and expertise. Celebrate collective achievements while assuming responsibility for overall project success. This approach motivates team members and enhances your leadership reputation without micromanaging. Law 8. Make other people come to you. Use bait if necessary. Explanation. Create a lure and make others seek your approval, attention, or collaboration. This gives you control over interactions and negotiations, allowing you to dictate terms and influence outcomes. By positioning yourself as a sought-after resource or partner, you can attract valuable opportunities and build a network of influential connections. Use strategic incentives or offers, bait, to entice others to engage with you, establishing yourself as a central figure in your professional and social circles. Practical example. Imagine you're seeking strategic partnerships. Position yourself as an industry thought leader by hosting webinars or publishing insightful content. This approach attracts potential collaborators seeking your expertise and opens doors to valuable professional relationships. Law 9. Win through your actions, never through argument. Explanation. Focus on achieving tangible results and let your actions speak louder than words. Avoid engaging in unnecessary arguments or debates that can undermine your credibility and waste valuable time and energy. Demonstrating competence and effectiveness through your deeds is more persuasive and impactful than trying to win people over through verbal persuasion alone. Prioritize substance over rhetoric to build a track record of success and earn respect from peers and superiors. Practical example. In a professional disagreement, focus on proposing solutions and taking proactive steps to address concerns rather than engaging in prolonged debates. Demonstrating competence and problem-solving skills earns respect and reinforces your influence within the team. Law 10. Infection. Avoid the unhappy and unlucky. Explanation. Negative individuals can drain your energy and hinder your progress. Surround yourself with positive and successful people who inspire personal growth. By cultivating a supportive and uplifting environment, you can maintain momentum and focus on achieving your goals without being weighed down by negativity or pessimism. Choose your associations wisely and invest in relationships that nurture personal growth and well-being. Practical example. In a social setting, prioritize spending time with optimistic and ambitious individuals who inspire personal growth. Limit interactions with chronically negative or defeatist individuals to maintain a positive mindset and sustain momentum toward achieving goals. Law 11. Learn to keep people dependent on you. Explanation. Become indispensable by making others reliant on your skills, resources, or connections. This dependence gives you leverage and influence in relationships and negotiations. However, it's essential to balance this power dynamic ethically and responsibly, ensuring that mutual benefits and trust underpin your interactions. Cultivate a reputation for reliability and resourcefulness, positioning yourself as a valuable ally and collaborator in professional and social circles. Practical example. As a subject matter expert, share knowledge generously and offer support to colleagues seeking guidance. By becoming a valuable resource, you establish yourself as an indispensable asset within the team, fostering trust and strengthening professional relationships. Law 12. Use selective honesty and generosity to disarm your victim. Explanation. Strategic honesty and generosity can disarm potential adversaries or opponents, creating goodwill and lowering their guard. By selectively revealing vulnerabilities or offering genuine assistance, you can foster trust and cooperation even in competitive environments. However, be discerning and avoid exposing yourself unnecessarily to exploitation. Use honesty and generosity as tactical tools to influence perceptions and outcomes in your favor. Practical example. Imagine resolving a conflict with a colleague. Begin by acknowledging any misunderstandings with sincerity and offering constructive feedback. This approach disarms defensiveness and fosters a collaborative atmosphere conducive to mutual understanding and resolution. Law 13. Appeal to people's self-interest, never to their mercy or gratitude. Explanation. When seeking favors or alliances, appeal to people's self-interest rather than relying on their sense of mercy or gratitude. Frame your requests or proposals in terms of tangible benefits and opportunities that align with their goals and ambitions. This approach leverages human nature's inclination towards self-preservation and personal gain, increasing the likelihood of positive responses and cooperation. Practical example. In negotiations, highlight how a proposed partnership or collaboration can lead to mutual growth and success, emphasizing the specific advantages and gains for each party involved. Law 14. Pose as a friend, work as a spy. Explanation. Maintain a friendly facade while discreetly gathering information and insights. By blending in and building rapport with individuals, you can gain access to valuable intelligence and anticipate potential developments or opportunities. Be cautious and discreet in your observations, avoiding betraying trust or compromising relationships. Use the acquired knowledge to inform strategic decisions and actions without revealing your true motives. Practical example. In a corporate setting, establish friendly relationships with colleagues across departments while discreetly gathering insights into upcoming projects or organizational changes. This information can inform your strategic planning and positioning within the company. Law 15. Crush your enemy totally. Explanation. When confronting adversaries, ensure decisive action to eliminate threats completely. Leaving remnants of resistance can lead to future challenges and retaliation. By neutralizing opponents thoroughly, you assert dominance and deter potential opposition. However, exercise caution and avoid unnecessary cruelty or vengeance, as it can breed resentment and create new enemies. Practical example. In business competition, strategically outmaneuver rivals and seize opportunities to establish market dominance, ensuring competitors cannot easily recover or challenge your position. Law 16. Use absence to increase respect and honor. Explanation. Create value and mystique by maintaining periods of absence or scarcity. By making yourself less accessible or available, you enhance your perceived importance and desirability. This tactic can cultivate respect and admiration from others who value your presence and contributions. Use absence strategically to reinforce your influence and elevate your status. Practical example. In leadership roles, strategically withdraw from certain meetings or events to emphasize the significance of your presence. This deliberate absence can heighten the impact of your participation when you do engage. Law 17. Keep others in suspended terror. Cultivate an air of unpredictability. Explanation. Maintain an aura of unpredictability to keep others on edge and hesitant to challenge you. By cultivating an air of mystery and variability in your actions, you instill caution and uncertainty in those around you. This strategic ambiguity can deter potential adversaries and discourage preemptive actions against you. Practical example. In negotiations or conflicts, introduce unexpected elements or responses that keep opponents guessing and hesitant to take aggressive stances, maintaining a strategic advantage. Law 18. Do not build fortresses to protect yourself. Isolation is dangerous. Explanation. Avoid isolating yourself from allies, resources, or information that could be vital in times of need. Building impenetrable barriers can lead to vulnerability and stagnation. Instead, foster strategic alliances and maintain open channels of communication to navigate challenges effectively. Collaboration and connectivity offer greater protection and flexibility than solitary defenses. Practical example. In business or politics, Prioritize building networks and partnerships to leverage collective strengths and resources, ensuring resilience and adaptability in dynamic environments. Law 19. Know who you're dealing with. Do not offend the wrong person. Explanation. Exercise discernment and tact in interactions to avoid provoking powerful or influential individuals unnecessarily. Understanding the hierarchy and dynamics of authority helps navigate social and professional landscapes without incurring undue consequences. Choose your battles wisely and show respect to those who wield significant influence or leverage. Practical example. In professional settings, research key stakeholders and decision-makers before engaging in negotiations or discussions to tailor your approach and avoid unintentional offense. Law 20. Do not commit to anyone. Explanation. Maintain flexibility and autonomy by avoiding binding commitments that limit your options or independence. By remaining adaptable and responsive to changing circumstances, you retain control over your actions and alliances. Strategic alliances and partnerships should serve your objectives without compromising your freedom of movement. Practical example. In business negotiations, prioritize short-term agreements or partnerships that align with immediate goals, allowing flexibility to pivot or reassess relationships as needed. Law 21. Play a sucker to catch a sucker. Seem dumber than your mark. Explanation. Occasionally adopt a guise of naivety or ignorance to disarm opponents and elicit underestimation. This tactic can lure adversaries into underestimating your capabilities, allowing you to exploit their misjudgments and gain strategic advantages. However, exercise caution to avoid being underestimated to a detrimental extent. Practical example. In competitive environments, subtly downplay your expertise or insights to encourage competitors to lower their guard, enabling you to capitalize on their complacency. Law 22. Use the surrender tactic. Transform weakness into power. Explanation. Strategically yield or feign vulnerability to manipulate perceptions and induce complacency in adversaries. By embracing apparent weaknesses or setbacks, you control the narrative and disarm opposition, positioning yourself for strategic counteractions or advantageous maneuvers. Practical example. In negotiations, concede non-essential points or present minor vulnerabilities to redirect focus and gain leverage in critical areas of discussion. Law 23. Concentrate your forces. Explanation. Focus resources and efforts on critical objectives to maximize impact and efficiency. Avoid dispersing energies or attention across too many fronts, as it dilutes effectiveness and diminishes strategic advantage. Concentrate strengths and capabilities where they can yield the most significant results. Practical example. In project management, allocate resources strategically to prioritize key deliverables and milestones, ensuring optimal utilization of available assets. Law 24. Play the perfect courtier. Explanation. Cultivate grace, charm, and discretion to navigate social hierarchies and gain favor from influential figures. Master the art of flattery and diplomacy, tailoring interactions to align with the preferences and sensibilities of those in power. By positioning yourself as a trusted confidant and ally, you can access valuable opportunities and insights within elite circles. Practical example. In professional networking, demonstrate impeccable manners and adaptability to connect with individuals of varying backgrounds and status, fostering meaningful relationships and alliances. Law 25. Recreate yourself. Explanation. Continuously evolve and adapt your persona to suit changing circumstances and aspirations. Reinvent yourself strategically to transcend limitations and project desired images or identities. By embracing transformation, you control perceptions and expand possibilities for growth and influence. Practical example. In career transitions or personal development, cultivate new skills, perspectives, or aesthetics that align with evolving goals and ambitions, positioning yourself for new opportunities and achievements. Law 26. Keep your hands clean. Explanation. Avoid direct involvement in controversial or questionable actions that could tarnish your reputation or credibility. Delegate contentious tasks or operations to others while maintaining a facade of integrity and ethical conduct. By preserving a clean image, you insulate yourself from scrutiny and preserve trust among allies and peers. Practical example. In organizational leadership, Delegate sensitive decision-making processes to trusted team members while overseeing operations with transparency and accountability. Law 27. Play on people's need to believe to create a cult-like following. Explanation. Harness the power of belief and conviction to cultivate loyalty and followership. Appeal to individuals' desire for meaning and purpose, presenting yourself as a charismatic leader or figurehead. Foster a sense of exclusivity and shared identity among supporters to create a devoted following that reinforces your influence and authority. Practical example. In marketing or leadership, cultivate a strong brand identity and narrative that resonates with specific audience segments, fostering a dedicated community of supporters and advocates. Law 28. Interaction with boldness. Explanation. Demonstrate confidence and decisiveness in pursuing objectives or confronting challenges. Bold actions command attention and convey authority, inspiring respect and admiration from others. Embrace calculated risks and take proactive steps to advance goals, projecting an image of competence and leadership. Practical example. In entrepreneurial ventures, seize opportunities with conviction and determination, positioning yourself as a bold innovator and trailblazer within your industry. Law 29. Plan all the way to the end. Explanation. Anticipate and strategize for potential outcomes and contingencies to maintain control over unfolding events. Develop comprehensive plans and alternative scenarios to navigate uncertainties and challenges effectively. By envisioning long-term objectives and preparing for various outcomes, you enhance adaptability and resilience in pursuit of goals. Practical example. In project management, create detailed roadmaps and contingency plans to address potential obstacles and ensure successful execution of initiatives. Law 30. Make your accomplishments seem effortless. Explanation. Project an air of natural talent and ease in achieving success to inspire admiration and confidence in your abilities. Mask the effort and challenges behind accomplishments, emphasizing grace and mastery in execution. This perception elevates your reputation and allure, reinforcing perceptions of innate capability and authority. Practical example. In public speaking or presentations, practice diligently to deliver seamless performances that appear effortless and captivating to audiences. Law 31. Control the options. Get others to play with the cards you deal. Explanation. Manipulate circumstances and choices to limit alternatives and influence outcomes in your favor. Position yourself as a decision-maker or orchestrator of choices, guiding others' actions and perceptions discreetly. By controlling available options, you dictate terms and steer interactions toward desired objectives. Practical example. In negotiation settings, structure proposals and concessions strategically to direct decision-making processes and shape final outcomes. Law 32. Play to people's fantasies. Explanation. Appeal to individuals' desires, aspirations, and idealized self-images to gain favor and cooperation. Craft narratives and experiences that fulfill fantasies or emotional needs, fostering emotional connections and allegiances. By aligning with people's dreams and aspirations, you cultivate loyalty and enthusiasm for your endeavors. Practical example. In marketing campaigns, tap into consumers' desires and aspirations to create compelling narratives that resonate with target audiences. Law 33. Discover each man's thumbscrew. Explanation. Identify individuals' vulnerabilities, fears, or desires to gain leverage in interactions and negotiations. Understanding what motivates or unnerves others allows you to influence and manipulate outcomes effectively. Tailor your approach to exploit specific weaknesses or motivations discreetly. Practical example. In leadership roles, recognize team members' strengths and weaknesses to assign tasks and provide incentives that maximize productivity and engagement. Law 34. Be royal in your own fashion. Act like a king to be treated like one. Explanation. Project regal confidence and authority through demeanor and actions to command respect and deference from others. Embody leadership qualities and cultivate a commanding presence that inspires admiration and compliance. By adopting a royal mindset, you shape perceptions and expectations, elevating your status and influence. Practical example. In professional settings, exude self-assurance and decisiveness in decision-making, establishing yourself as a respected figure within your domain. Law 35. Master the art of timing. Explanation. Seize opportunities and initiate actions at the most advantageous moments to maximize impact and effectiveness. Timing is crucial in influencing outcomes and perceptions. Anticipate windows of opportunity and act decisively to capitalize on favorable conditions or trends. Practical example. In marketing campaigns, launch product releases or promotions during peak consumer demand periods to maximize visibility and sales. Law 36. Disdain things you cannot have. Ignoring them is the best revenge. Explanation. Redirect focus and energy away from unattainable goals or adversaries to preserve emotional and mental resources. Embracing indifference towards unachievable desires or provocations deprives them of power and influence over your thoughts and actions. Maintain focus on achievable objectives and productive pursuits. Practical example. In personal conflicts, prioritize self-care and growth, redirecting attention towards positive endeavors rather than dwelling on unattainable resolutions. Law 37. Create compelling spectacles. Explanation. Generate awe and fascination by orchestrating memorable and captivating experiences. Spectacles command attention and leave lasting impressions, enhancing reputation and influence. Employ theatricality and creativity to evoke emotions and shape perceptions. Practical example. In event planning or public relations, design immersive and visually striking presentations or performances that captivate and engage audiences. Law 38. Think as you like, but behave like others. Explanation. Maintain outward conformity with prevailing norms and expectations to navigate social dynamics and avoid unnecessary scrutiny or conflict. Adapt behavior and expressions to blend in while preserving individual thoughts and beliefs privately. Strategic conformity facilitates acceptance and facilitates maneuvering within social hierarchies. Practical example. In diverse settings, adapt communication styles and mannerisms to resonate with different audiences while retaining personal values and perspectives. Law 39. Stir up waters to catch fish. Explanation. Create disruption or controversy to provoke reactions and reveal hidden agendas or vulnerabilities. By introducing turbulence, you gain insights and leverage over competitors or adversaries. Use controlled chaos to disrupt established patterns and gain strategic advantages. Practical example. In competitive markets, introduce innovative disruptions or provocations to unsettle competitors and gain market insights. Law 40. Despise the free lunch. Explanation. Avoid dependence on favors or assistance that come with hidden obligations or strings attached. Self-sufficiency and autonomy preserve freedom of action and decision-making. Be wary of accepting generosity that may entail future debts or entanglements. Practical example. In professional relationships, prioritize equitable exchanges and mutual benefits to maintain integrity and avoid indebtedness. Law 41. Avoid stepping into a great man's shoes. Explanation. Do not attempt to replace or emulate a revered predecessor directly. Strive to carve your own path and establish a distinct identity. Comparisons to predecessors can be unfavorable and hinder acceptance. Embrace individuality and innovation to leave your mark. Practical example. In leadership transitions, introduce fresh perspectives and initiatives rather than mimicking the exact approaches of predecessors. Law 42. Strike the shepherd and the sheep will scatter. Explanation. Target influential leaders or figures to disrupt and dismantle opposing groups or organizations. By neutralizing key figures, you undermine cohesion and effectiveness within adversary networks. Focus on strategic impact rather than engaging in protracted confrontations. Practical example. In conflict resolution, prioritize addressing root causes and influential actors to facilitate lasting resolutions. Work on the hearts and minds of others. Explanation. Influence attitudes and perceptions to gain voluntary cooperation and support. Emphasize emotional and rational appeals to cultivate allegiance and rapport. Invest in relationships and communication strategies to foster goodwill and alignment with objectives. Practical example. In leadership roles, prioritize empathy and strategic messaging to inspire commitment and dedication among team members. Law 44. Disarm and infuriate with the mirror effect. Explanation. Reflect and amplify opponents' tactics or behaviors back at them to neutralize their effectiveness. By mirroring adversaries' actions, you expose inconsistencies and provoke reactions that undermine their credibility or strategies. Practical example. In debates or negotiations, employ mirroring techniques to highlight contradictions or hypocrisies in opposing arguments. Law 45. Preach the need for change, but never reform too much at once. Explanation. Advocate for incremental change to manage resistance and preserve stability. Position reforms as necessary while avoiding radical upheavals that provoke backlash. Gradual transitions facilitate acceptance and adaptation. Practical example. In organizational transformations, introduce phase changes to minimize disruption and ensure buy-in from stakeholders. Law 46. Never appear too perfect. Explanation. Maintain relatability and approachability by revealing human flaws and vulnerabilities. Perfection breeds suspicion and resentment. Embrace authenticity to foster genuine connections and trust. Practical example. In personal branding, share relatable stories of setbacks or challenges to connect with audiences on a human level. Law 47. Do not go past the mark you aimed for. In victory, learn when to stop. Explanation. Exercise restraint and strategic withdrawal after achieving objectives to avoid overreaching and inviting counterattacks. Consolidate gains and preserve resources for future endeavors. Practical example. In negotiations, secure favorable terms without excessive demands to maintain goodwill and sustain future relationships. Law 48. Assume formlessness. Explanation. Adapt and remain flexible in response to changing circumstances and challenges. Avoid predictable patterns or fixed strategies. Embrace versatility and fluidity to evade constraints and exploit emerging opportunities. Practical example. In competitive environments, adopt agile approaches and pivot as needed to navigate uncertainties and outmaneuver rivals. Let's recap the key principles from the 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. Master relationships. Avoid overshadowing superiors and strategically leverage adversaries. Strategic communication. Conceal intentions and speak minimally to maintain control. Guard reputation. Cultivate a strong reputation to enhance credibility and influence. Capture attention. Court attention through calculated actions and calculated publicity. Strategic delegation. Delegate tasks while ensuring credit and recognition. For accomplishments. Control interactions. Draw others to you strategically, using allure and bait. Action over argument. Demonstrate competence through actions rather than debates. Positive connections. Surround yourself with positive and successful individuals for growth. Dependence management. Keep others dependent on you by providing value and support. Strategic honesty. Use selective honesty and generosity to disarm adversaries. Self-interest appeal. Frame requests in terms of others' self-interest for cooperation. Strategic observation. Gather intelligence subtly while maintaining friendly appearances. Decisive dominance. Assert dominance by crushing adversaries decisively when necessary. Strategic absence. Increase desirability by maintaining scarcity and unpredictability. Alliance building. Forge connections and avoid isolation for protection and flexibility. Tact and awareness. Exercise tact and avoid offending. Influential individuals. Flexibility and autonomy. Retain flexibility by avoiding binding commitments. Strategic disarmament. Disarm adversaries by appearing less capable than you are. Adaptability and focus. Focus resources strategically for maximum impact and efficiency. Social grace. Cultivate charm and discretion to navigate social environments. Continuous evolution. Adapt and evolve to pursue new opportunities and growth. Ethical conduct. Maintain integrity by avoiding direct involvement in controversial actions. Cultivation of loyalty. Foster loyalty and devotion by appealing to desires for belonging. Confidence and initiative. Command respect through confidence and boldness. Strategic planning. Plan comprehensively to anticipate outcomes and adapt effectively. These principles offer valuable insights into mastering influence and achieving success in various aspects of life. Incorporate these strategies wisely to navigate complex social and professional landscapes. As we conclude our exploration of the 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene, remember that these laws are not just tactics but insights into the dynamics of influence and strategy. By understanding and applying these principles thoughtfully, You can navigate complex social and professional situations with greater confidence and effectiveness. Whether you're seeking to enhance your leadership skills, negotiate more effectively, or simply better understand human behavior, the lessons from this book offer valuable guidance. Remember to use these principles responsibly and ethically, as true power is not just about control but also about integrity and impact. I encourage you to reflect on the laws we've discussed and consider how you might integrate them into your own life and interactions. Thank you for joining me at Shogun's Library. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, stay empowered and continue your journey towards mastering the art of power. This is Shogun signing off.